So this was British Science Week, and I thought I've been doing a bit of outreach sort of locally, and I thought sort of summarising some of the key stuff we've been talking about might be good. So I came up into tech from a science background, and I've spoken to quite a few teachers who were sort of very interested in that because they were kind of under the impression that to get into tech you had to specialise in computing or in computer science fairly early on. So I did maths, physics, chemistry and further maths at A-level, and so came very much from a science background. I hadn't done basically no computing until I got to university, and I did a physics degree at uni. And I sort of like started out the degree kind of thinking like, oh, maybe I'm going to research. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I kind of established fairly quickly that I didn't want to go into research. So in my second year I did a computing course and just basically fell in love with coding. I loved the whole sort of building up sort of complex operations from little tiny logical steps. But I didn't know that was what I wanted to do at all, and especially not at like 15, 16 when you're deciding your A-levels. So I think it's really important to remember that like the route into computing isn't one way. It isn't specific. You have to do computer science. You have to do computer science at uni. You can come into computer from loads of different disciplines, and especially like maths and science-based disciplines. It's quite the sort of logical thinking involved in problem solving in both maths and science is so integral to how you code. Like all of coding is problem solving. It's taking a problem and it might be a really complex problem and building up a solution to that problem from the steps that you've learned. And that's exactly what you do in science. And so I think it's a really important message to young people and just everyone in general. There isn't one route into computing, and that coming into technology in general from a science background can be a really productive way to do it. And it means that you really have all these skills that you've built up over years and years of school that you can then put into use in a new way, using new syntax or new steps. But it's that same logical thinking, scientific technique that sets you up really well for programming. All of these things are so interlinked, and I think it's really important to equip teachers with the knowledge and sort of talk about the fact that there isn't one way into computing, there isn't one way into technology, and no matter what someone is deciding when they're 15 or 16, there is always the possibility and the option to get involved and sort of get excited by all of this. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.